there, wonderful tarot lovers. So, welcome to this full moon reading, and I drew 3 cards for this reading, and here they are. The first, you couldn't make this up, what is the wonderful Emperor? And the Emperor comes up today upright, bringing this strong masculine message of if willingness to initiate something, willingness to stand up and fight for what's right, for what's perfect, for what's good, for what we know with our inner wisdom, to be our truth and to be able to follow that and to fight against, not so much against the world out there, but to fight against our inner tendencies to lack discipline or lack motivation or lack enthusiasm and lack drive in order to actually follow our path and do what we feel is right. Because this is the guy who's very grounded about knowing, hey, who am I? Where am I? What am I doing? What am I here to do? What's important? And he's that number 4 solid stone throne of grounded, fixed, conscious nature of where we stand in our lives and in this world. He's followed by this 6 of Pentacles, which is very interesting because I've been working with the 5 of Pentacles quite a lot recently. And so this 6 comes out saying, hey, if you're going to hold on to this poor man mentality, then you will only be able to receive from life, from the world, an equivalent energetical abundant or lack of abundance according to the self-worth that you believe that you hold, that you are. And we're all semi-aware of our lack of worth and self-worth tendencies or habits or beliefs that we have about life and about ourselves. But the Emperor is saying, hey, if you're aware of you not feeling good enough, what are the steps that you need to take? What are the actions that you need to take? What do you need to initiate or stop or put a boundary to in your life that is going to stop you from receiving just a poor man's or a poor woman's worth? And the equivalent of that, what that might mean, is a poor man's version of health and a poor man's version of abundant income, for example, or a poor man's version of experience. And we deserve a wealth and a beauty and an abundance of both experience, of money, and positive work stories and positive health stories. But we've got to stand up and make an action. We've got to not just have a dream out there that's floaty. We've got to ground that dream and say, hey, nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to happen in your life. You're not going to magically attract some crazy abundance unless you take some steps towards what that might look like, unless you're willing to act accordingly to the vibration of higher self-worth and higher self-esteem and higher fundamental self-love. And the third card that came up is this card, is the 5 of Cups reversed, where there is this, this unconscious tendency to focus on the negative and to focus on what's not good. And I was looking into this with a friend, and we were both seeing how we have similar but different patterns, and we've all got probably many of these different patterns of looking at things negatively for a reason, for a positive reason. In other words, we're getting something out of looking or focusing on the darker side. For me, it was, oh yes, if I, when I was a kid, I was looking at the childhood stories. So So yeah, if I would go into a mood and be a bit sad and be a bit mopey and sulky, then that would get attention from my mum, because she'd come towards me, and then that's kind of energy that's stuck. So it pays me to be covered up and to retreat and to be all mopey, because that way I'll get attention, and that way I can manipulate my outer environment in order to receive what it is I want, attention and love and all of these things. And so and for my friend it was something else. But we all have these tendencies to say, hey, why, that we can ask ourselves, hey, what actually, how does it actually help me, or has it helped me in the past to focus on the negative and to be a little bit negative? Oh yeah, sometimes it's, if I focus on the negative, that will make me feel better about my own negativity. And so let's surround myself with people who are more victim mentality than me, and then I'll feel better about myself. And that again is one of those tendencies, but this is a closed off nature. One thing I saw as well in this card, and it was a friend of mine who pointed it out to me, oh, it looks like a bat. And it does look like a bat hanging, cloaking himself in his wings, hanging upside down, with this card being upside down like that. And yeah, there is this cloaking of the wing, but the bat is the only mammal that can fly, and the only mammal that can fly in the night, in the darkness, so it can see our shadow, and it can maneuver itself through the shadow world, through the shadow of ourselves, and it can find what it's looking for, because we have this ability to maybe open up our wings and fly through our own shadow, open up our wings and comprehend our own negative tendencies and how they might be holding us back, and then be willing to take some steps and go, right, let's make an action. And with this full moon is actually in Aries, and of all the cards in the tarot that speak about Aries, it's this one with the 4 rams on each of the corners of the throne, and this red color representing this fiery, active initiator. The Aries is the initiative astrological symbol. It's the beginning. It's the first one in the 12 signs of the zodiac. And so it's calling for us to initiate some action, to start something new in our life. And don't expect to be sitting around waiting for life to bring us what it is we want, just because we're focusing on a great mantra, which is a good thing to do, but the mantra needs to be followed by some type of action. And this guy's willing to stand up, and he's got the discipline to bring that action into his life, into our lives. We have the power. And it's a very masculine, cold card, and not many people like it, because, and I know I had a wonderful journey with this guy, but we've got to stand up and start not saying, oh, I really want this would be nice if I could do this, oh yeah, that's a nice idea, I would really like to earn a little bit more money, be a little bit more healthy. Well, what does that look like? And are you willing to take even 1 or 2 or 3 steps in order to do it? Because you're gonna have to stand up, you're gonna have to have your battle garments on, you're gonna have to fight against your negative mental tendencies that put you down and make you think you're not good enough. You're going to have to stand up and be willing to turn around the consciousness of focusing on the negative, to focus on these positive 2 cups that are still standing, and to walk over that lovely white bridge into the lovely greener grass where there's a house in the background. And we're going to have to take some steps, make some actions, be willing to be uncomfortable, because those actions are going to be different ones than the ones we're used to. And so they're going to trigger us in ways where, oh, I don't know if I like to do that because I'm not used to doing that, or I've never done that, or I'm not very good at that. Yeah, well, there's only one way to start, and that's to start. Put your right foot forward and get moving. Sorry, a little bit of an energetical reading this time, but hey. The masculine emperor is being channeled, and he's sitting in his square throne, and he's saying, hey, when it's time, it's time. Have a wonderful full moon, and I hope this reading resonates with you until the new moon in 2 weeks' time. Much love.